So my homies, this is Vafa here again. It's that time for guitar lesson number 3. This one's going to be all about guitars. So let's just get right into it. You know, there's not really much preliminaries to talk about. You guys have probably seen my previous videos. You know how this works. So let's just get started. So first thing you need to know is how a guitar works. The way it works is, you plug the string, and the string vibrates, and the pickup, which is magnetic, senses that vibration and converts it to an electrical signal, which is your sound. So that's going to tell you two things. First of all, your choice of pickup is critical in how your guitar sounds, and second, the amount of vibration you can get out of your strings is absolutely important. So I'm going to talk a lot about transferring vibrations all around. The more your guitar body facilitates those strings to vibrate, the better sound you're going to have overall. Alright, so first thing we can just talk about is the guitar body. Obviously, my favorite's SG. The reason why it's my favorite is just because I think it looks the best, and I think it looks coolest. And the best part about it is the double cutaway. So most guitars have cutaway only up down here, but the top part there is actually wood up here. So, like for example, if this was a Les Paul, there'd be wood right here. And so the problem with that is when you try to play up high, that wood blocks your thumb, which I don't like too much. But with the double cutaway, it's just like, playing up high is just like playing over here too. There's nothing in the way. Then of course there's other types of bodies. There's flying V's, which look really cool. I really like them. I used to have one actually, but the only thing I didn't like about it is you always have to play it like this when you're sitting down because you've got the, the wings. And then there's other types of bodies. There's like really big type of guitar bodies like Kelly's, Explorers. Les Pauls are pretty big too. And the idea behind having a big guitar body is, like I said earlier, the more vibrations you have, the better. So bigger guitar body will give you more sound vibrations, give you better sustain and stuff like that. And then of course, there's always the classic body shape, the Stratocaster body shape, and I told you guys I would show you my Strat, so here it is. This is my other guitar that I barely ever play. But yeah, this is a classic body shape. I think it's kind of boring, but a lot of people really like it. So anyway, that's it. That's the blue Strat. So there's another reason I brought up this guitar is to talk about neck construction. So neck construction is the way the neck and the body of the guitar are connected. So in general, there's 3 types of neck construction. First one we can talk about is what Strat has here, bolt-on neck construction. So bolt-on neck construction, the neck and the body are manufactured as 2 separate pieces of wood, and they're quite literally bolted on together just using some metal and some screws. Now of course this saves the manufacturer a lot of money, so the guitar is cheaper because it's easy to construct, and it's quick to make it. But the disadvantages are that, well, of course, if you just think about it, having 2 materials just touching each other doesn't really transfer vibrations very well, so you lose some tone, you lose some sustain there. And for me personally, I don't really like having this gigantic block of wood and stuff in the way. I'm trying to play it, my hand's getting caught right there, so I don't really like that one too much. But the second type of guitar construction, neck construction, is called set neck construction, which is what my SG has. And it's the same as bolt-on construction. The neck and body are manufactured separately, but the difference is that the body actually kind of has like a hole or a cavity in it, and the neck is just stuck in there and it's glued in together. So that's more expensive because it requires more wood glue and like all kinds of other materials, and also it takes longer to let that glue harden. But the advantage is, of course, the 2 pieces of wood, since they're glued together, they act as 1 piece of wood, and they vibrate together. They have a lot more tone. And then of course, as you can just see, there's a lot less in the way here. It's just a very small little ridge right here. So the third type of neck construction is called neck through construction, which is only on the most rare and exotic type of guitars. It's pretty expensive to construct a guitar that way. Fortunately, I don't have a neck through guitar to show you, but I can tell you about it. The neck is actually constructed as 1 piece of wood, but this time, instead of just this part, the neck goes all the way through the body. So this, if you just imagine all the way through the body right here, is all 1 large piece of wood, and then 2 kind of wings are just glued onto the sides. And so that'll give you, the best tone and everything. That'll give you a really small profile again. But of course, it's really expensive to construct a guitar like that because it takes a lot of time and it's complicated. Alright, so the next thing is the bridge, which is really important. There's generally two types of bridges in metal. There's there's going to be the Floyd Rose type of bridge, or you can use a fixed bridge. So let me remind you guys again, you should read my disclaimer on my channel profile page. I prefer the fixed bridges. I really don't like Floyd Roses very much. It's just my opinion though. I know a lot of guys use them and they really like them. So anyway, I'll just let you know why I don't like Floyd Rose bridges too much. So the way it works is there's got this like locking thing up at the top here, which keeps your guitar strings in tune. It's supposed to keep your strings in tune. And then the way the bridge works is there's kind of like a hole in the guitar body, and the bridge floats over it, and you've got these springs that pull one way on the bridge, and then the tension of your strings pull the other way, so the bridge just kind of floats in place there over this hole, so you can either go up or you can go down, whatever. You do a lot of cool like whammy effects and dive bombs and fun stuff like that. But there's a lot of disadvantages too. Like I said, you have to use a lot of specialized tools if you want to unlock it, change your strings. I found it goes out of tune a lot, regardless of what they say. Another thing is, since the bridge is floating, you can't palm mute too hard, because if you push too hard on it, your strings start to go sharp. And then another thing is you lose tone, because the locks right here cut off the vibration to your headstock, and then of course, since your bridge is floating, none of the string vibrations go to your guitar body, so it doesn't sound as good. And then another thing that really bothered me was that since all of your strings, like make that bridge float in place, if one of your strings got out of tune, you need to tune it, it's going to change the tension of your entire bridge, which means all of your strings could potentially go out of tune. But anyway, that's a Floyd Rose bridge. The next type is the set bridge, which I really prefer. So the way that works is, strings just kind of sit there. There's nothing at the neck, and it's just very basic. So there's less moving parts, less stuff to break. I like it because you can palm mute pretty hard. The strings won't go out of tune nearly as much. If one string is out of tune, you can tune it. You don't have to worry about other strings popping out of tune too. You get a better sound too, because the strings are actually going to be in the guitar body, so like let the guitar vibrate with the strings too. But of course, the main disadvantage is it's really boring. There's nothing you can really do. No fun effect. Next thing is pickups. As you guys know, I use the Seymour Duncan Screaming Demon in bridge. This one's stock. So I don't really know too much about pickup brands and stuff. You're gonna have to just go decide for yourself. I've heard EMGs are good too, but I really like this one. Anyway, you usually want to use the bridge pickup for rhythm, and then you can use it for lead. I like to use it for leads that have like a lot of fast alternate picking, stuff like that. And then the neck pickup, which is optional, I like to use it for leads that have kind of like more bluesy sound, like more vibrato and stuff like that. It gives you kind of more bassy sound. And then of course you want to turn your volume and tone knobs all the way up. You can use a guitar that has single coils, but I would suggest that you use a humbucker at the very least in your bridge. Single coil pickups are good for leads and stuff, but if you're trying to play like hard metal, it's not really going to do the job. It's not going to have that crunch, and Yngwie Malmsteen can do it because he's not really playing like heavy, hard music. So anyway, other than that, there's just kind of like general stuff. I like to use guitars with fat, really big frets. I like the mahogany sound as well. And then of course the fretboard on the SG is rosewood, which I think is really soft. It's really fast too. I use Grover tuners. I've been using it for years and they've been great. And then of course there's the last thing, scale and width. So scale and width is kind of just talks about like how big your neck is, how wide your neck is. In general, there's like kind of like the Jackson and stuff, which has a slightly bigger neck, and then Gibsons and Les Pauls, Epiphones, stuff like that, they have a slightly smaller one. I like the smaller one because it's easier on my hands, but go ahead and try out whatever and figure out what works for you. Alright guys, well, that's it for today. Hope you had a fun time, hope you learned something, and I hope you like my Strat. Alright, so next lesson is going to be all about sound and amps and effects and stuff like that. Alright guys, peace. Next